I just wanted to say thank you for turning out for No Kings 3.0. In June, 2 million of us took to the streets to say we don't do kings in America. And in October, 7 million of us took to the streets in the single largest day of mass mobilization in American history. We're expecting an additional 300 events nationwide today. Every time we host one of these, I have the honor of watching our crowd grow and grow and grow. To those of you who stood with me at the first No Kings in June, thank you. And to those of you who are attending your first rally today, welcome. As we approach America's 250th birthday, it's important to acknowledge that No Kings is more than just a movement. This is the idea that our nation was founded on. America has never been perfect, but we have grown and we have become a better, stronger country because of brave people who stood up, who showed up, and who fought to see the ideals that are demonstrated in our Constitution become reality. We have been fighting for the promise that America offers. This administration is harming families left and right, and they're using fear and violence as a tool of governance. But in the face of their attempted authoritarian takeovers, in the face of the rising costs, the chaos, and the corruption of this administration, we're here today because it's in our DNA as a nation to protest and to fight back. To say no thrones, no crowns, and no kings in America. Thank you all so much for being here today. It is such a pleasure to meet every one of you. Thank you. And now I have the distinct honor of introducing my good friend, Nina Ancharsky.
How's everybody doing today, considering? All right, so good afternoon. One quick thing before I start. Please remember to stay safe. Above everything else, stay safe. Don't instigate if there's a problem. If you need help, find somebody in a neon vest and they will help you. We have a medic tent over here under the white tent. If anybody needs anything, that's where you're gonna head. There's bottles of water if anybody has an emergency, okay? All right. Look around you. Look at who is standing next to you right now. That person showed up today, just like you, just like every single one of us. Because something is deeply wrong in our country, and we can all feel it. We're fighting a war in Iran, a war we did not vote for, a war we cannot afford. Children in this country go to bed hungry. People are rationing their insulin. Families are living in terror, and we're bombing another country in the Middle East. Renee Good, Alex Peretti, say their names and say them repeatedly. People are citizens who were killed by ICE standing up for their neighbors, by a government that was supposed to protect us. That is not America. That is not the country any of us believe in. And while our Constitution is being shredded, while the rule of law is being treated like a suggestion, the Republicans in Congress, they're sitting on their fucking hands. They took an oath. One of their most important jobs is to be a check on the executive power, and they're refusing to do it. Especially Rob Bresnahan. I mean, we can only afford a drone and he has a whole helicopter. So I want to ask Congress, who do you serve? Because it's not us anymore. The writer Robin Wall Kimmerer in her book, Braiding Sweetgrass, wrote about the system of trees. And she wrote, "The trees act not as individuals, but somehow as a collective. What happens to one of us happens to all of us. We can either starve together or we can feast together." Think about that. Trees figured out what we all know in our hearts. We are stronger together than we ever are alone. When ice takes one of our neighbors, that happens to all of us. When a child goes hungry because we'd rather fund another war, that happens to all of us. When the Constitution is used as a prop instead of a law, that happens to all of us. And when we stand here, shoulder to shoulder, refusing to be silent, that happens to all of us too. I know it's heavy. Some days it feels like we're losing, like the wall keeps getting higher, and like nobody in power is listening to us. But I know this, movements don't end, they grow. The people who marched for labor rights didn't live to see every victory. The people who fought for women's suffrage didn't live to see every woman vote. But they kept going because they understood what the trees Robin Kimmerer talked about already knew. That what you do for the collective echoes forward in ways you cannot even imagine. We are not here because we've given up. We are here because we refuse to give up. Democracy does not defend itself. We do. We are the roots. We are the network underground, passing strength to one another, refusing to let any one of us fall alone. So today, right here, right now, let's remind this government and everyone watching exactly who holds the power in this country. It's not a king. It's not a billionaire. It is not a man like Trump who thinks he is above the law. It's us. We are the power. So I want you guys to chant with me. This is a different chant that we've ever done before. So I'm going to say, whose country? And you guys are going to say, our country. I'm going to say, whose power? You guys are going to say, our power. And then we're going to say, no kings. Are y'all ready? Whose country?
Our country!
Whose power?
Our power!
No kings!
No kings!
Whose country?
Our country!
Whose power?
Our power!
No kings!
No kings!
Whose country?
Our country!
Whose power?
Our power!
No kings!
No kings!
Thank y'all. I'm going to hand it back to our lovely Megan.
Now, I'm so excited to introduce my friend, Anthony Gratter, who just completed his last chemo treatment. Let's hear it for Anthony.
Thank you. I'm grateful to be able to have the opportunity to tell my story today. A story that I know will resonate with so many of you. I have had the privilege of working as an organizer and working alongside the incredible community groups here in NEPA that are here today to work to put this together. I have been working to help people share their stories. Stories about impossible choices, rising costs, and a healthcare system that too often fails the people it is supposed to protect. That work means everything to me. It's why I took the job. But before I could even begin that work, I was diagnosed with colon cancer. I am 40 years old. I have 2 kids, and at that moment, shifted my entire world. My prognosis is good. As Megan said, I just finished chemo, and I am very hopeful. Thank you. But I have to tell you that when I was diagnosed, one of the first thoughts I had wasn't actually about my health. It was about the health insurance that I had. I had just left a job where I was a Teamster, where my coverage was strong and reliable. Now, like so many people who work for small organizations, I had to go into the Affordable Care Act marketplace and figure it out on my own. I found a plan, and last year, that coverage cost me $500 a month. This year, it's over $700. And even with that, I still pay thousands out of pocket. My chemotherapy treatments cost me over $2,000 each. And as I stand here today, I owe Geisinger over $12,000 with years of testing and scans ahead of me if I am lucky. That is what covered looks like in America. And I know that I'm not alone. Across this country, people are turning to GoFundMe just to survive. Families are crowdfunding cancer treatments, surgeries, and basic care. These are things that should never depend on charity or luck. According to the American Cancer Society, more than 1/3 of fundraising stories on GoFundMe are medical, financial hardships, and health-related social needs. 1/3. GoFundMe has become a lifeline, but it shouldn't have to be. In the wealthiest country in the history of the world, in a country that is spending $1 billion a day on a war no one asked for, that has taken the lives of 13 U.S. service members and innocent children, in a country that gave $1 trillion in tax breaks to the top 1%, in a country that is on the verge of creating the world's first trillionaire, it is morally reprehensible that people are forced to pass the hat to stay alive. The emotional and mental toll of this is real. The constant stress, the fear, the calculations. What can I afford? What do I delay? What happens to my family? That's why we're here today. We're here because Pennsylvanians deserve better. We're here because our voice matters, and we're here to be heard. We are here to be heard and demand that our representatives act. We are not asking for charity. We are demanding a system that works for us. A system where healthcare is accessible, affordable, and there when you need it, no matter who you are or where you work. Let's make sure Donald Trump, Rob Bresnahan, and congressional Republicans can't ignore us. And let's keep fighting together until no one has to tell this story again. Thank you.
Now we're going to hear from Yesenia Rodriguez from Action Together. Yesenia lives in Luzerne County, Hazleton. She's a mother and an immigrant. Let's hear it for Yesenia.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Welcome, and thank you for being here. It means a lot to all of us. So my name is Yesenia Rodriguez. I am an organizing manager with Action Together, NEPA. I am also an immigrant. I first came into the U.S. at the age of 14 with my mom and my siblings to join my dad. I'm one of so many stories of families who built a new life in this country. I'm one of so many Americans that despite what the current administration says about immigrants just being criminals and a burden to this country, none of that is true. Having actually made this country our home, we are grateful for the opportunity that it has provided us. It was the achievement of the American dream that moved us. That unfortunately has turned into the American nightmare. Won't you agree?
Yes.
I don't think people realize how hard it is for a child to leave everything behind. And on top of all of that, having no choice but to learn a different language in order to thrive and make that dream a reality. And for those Latinos that are here, los vemos, los escuchamos, estamos aquí. It is not easy to learn a second language, but so many of us do it because we love this country and we want to build our life here. Right? At the end of the day, this country is made by immigrants. We're all immigrants, right? I'm a mother, a wife, a small business owner, and a resident of Lucerne County for 21 years. I care about what goes on in my community. The community I chose to call home for my family, like so many others. I was certainly not happy when I found out about the recent 287G agreement that Hazleton City just entered with ICE without any public input. And let me tell you, it is not just Hazleton and West Hazleton. It's been here since last year, when the Lucerne County District Attorney decided to sign a similar agreement for the whole county, also without any input from the public. None of this is making any of us safer. These things are attempts to divide us, not protect anyone. We need safe community solutions that work for everyone and bring people together, not put people in harm in any way. We need to stand up for each other and with each other, don't you think? Let's not forget for 1 minute why we gather here today. We have to continue to fight for what is right, for our families, for our friends, for our neighbors, or just simply doing what is the human right thing to do. Don't live here today not ready to take action in your community. Join Action Together as a member and be a part of the movement that will make a better life for all of us, possibly. Thank you all, and let's not forget, know what? No kings, no queremos reyes. Gracias. Thank you.
Now we're going to hear from Pastor Rodney, Wilkes-Barre resident for the past 10 years.
All right now, listen, we're going to start this off right, all right? Is Wilkes-Barre in the house? Is Kingston in the house? Is Avoca in the house? Come on, y'all. I need my people to all come alive today, because today we are one people in one place for one cause. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, my name is Rodney, Pastor Rodney Haraway. I preach out of a church in West Pittston, PA, where all we do is preach love. That's what we preach, love and unity. So when they asked me to come out and talk today, this is right up my alley. This is right up my alley, because one of the things that the Lord speaks to me about is don't be afraid. We can no longer be afraid, because we are people that are inspiring to be something great. America has never been about kings. We ain't never had a king in the United States. And I'll be damn sure that we're not going to have one now. We don't bow down to crowns. We don't bow down, and we don't tremble. We're not trembling before anybody's throne. We are people who stand upright, shoulders squared, eyes forward, and our hearts steady. And yet today, it feels like we all have taken a hit. Come on, let's be real. We all feel like we got hit in the gut. Some people feel shaken by the results of this election. Some people even feel like the wind has been knocked out of them. And that's a real feeling. Let's be honest, that's something that we have to deal with. It hurts sometimes when you turn on your TV, when you open up your newspaper, you have to look at this, and sometimes it leaves a hurting feeling in our gut. But hear me clearly. Taking a hit does not mean we go down. Come on now. I grew up watching fighters in the Bronx. I woke up every day looking and seeing fights every day where I grew up at, real fighters. And when you get punched, that doesn't mean you out of the fight. Amen? It's nothing like getting punched in the mouth and still stand. Because standing people are still in the ring and we are still able to fight. A good boxer doesn't win because he never got hit. A good boxer wins because they know how to absorb a hit, how to take a blow, how to be resourceful and stand back and swing when you get hit. That's what we're doing today. We're not playing with the Kings no more. Today, we took a hit, but we are still standing. And we're standing with people who know how to fight. Does anybody out here know how to fight? We must be more active more than ever. Right now, we have to be. This moment is not a signal to retreat. We cannot retreat right now. This is not the time to cower and go into corners. This is the time for us to get out and show what we made of. It's a call for greater activism, greater awareness, and greater courage. Because we need everybody to be strong and courage. Because my message today is we're not afraid. Information moves fast, it trends, it comes, but some policies and some decisions and some strategies have a long-term implications on us. And we have to understand that's what we're doing it for our grandkids, for our children, for those who's going to come behind us. And we have to stand up now and let them know we're not afraid. And while we do that, we have to get everyone in our homes, in our communities, in our workplaces. We have to get them out to do what? Vote. Voting is not just a right. Voting is a responsibility. It has a legacy. It's a memorial for those who bled and marched for us to have this freedom to do it. And I know there's some of those who have preferred that history be erased. They want to erase our history. They want to erase what has come before them. But guess what, people? We're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let that happen. Not on our watch. Come on, let me hear you. Not on our watch. See, here in Wilkes-Barre, I moved here 10 years ago. Wilkes-Barre didn't look like the way it looks right now. Come on, somebody. Wilkes-Barre was a fading, quiet, shrinking, losing breath. And then what happened? Diversity moved in. Come on, somebody. Diversity moved in. People from all different colors, people from different backgrounds, different cultures, different nations, all came here and gave this city mouth to mouth. They started opening up businesses. They started buying homes. Property values started to rise. Jobs that was looked over, they started taking. And what started to happen, this whole county started to breathe again. An American dream became possible for many of people of black and brown color who did not have the opportunity, now have the opportunity to be the American dream. But I'm saying they want to snatch that from us. Because understand this, when the city thrives, you thrive. Because all those homes that were sitting dormant, now people are living in them. And what that means for us that live in this county, now our property value goes up too. So if we run the people away from here, what happens to our city? What happens to our county? It dies. So we can't do that. Why? Because we're not afraid. So I'm going to close with this. Don't be afraid to fight. Don't be afraid to stand up to authoritarians. Don't be afraid to educate yourself. Don't be afraid to stand up for what you believe. Don't let anyone take what you worked hard for. Because some of us, we didn't have nothing given to us. We had to work hard. We worked 2 jobs. We had to save our money. We had to eat peanut butter and jelly until we achieved what we needed to achieve. And I'd be damned if I'm going to let a king take away what I worked for. Because I'm a preacher, I got to leave you with this. There's a scripture that says, 1 could chase 1,000, but 2 could chase 10,000. That's a scripture in the Word of God. That means we're stronger together. That means unity multiplies power. That means when we stand link to link, shoulder to shoulder, black, white, Latinos, Asian, immigrants, native people who was born here, young, old, all of us, we become a force to be reckoned with. Lift your heads up, square your shoulders, steady your stance. As we took a hit, but we will still be in the ring to fight. As long as we're still standing, we fight, we organize, we vote, we protect each other, and we protect our future. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid of who? We are not afraid of the king. We are not afraid of the king. We are not afraid of the king. Thank you.
Got to bring this down a few feet. All right, let's put our hands together. Last but not least, we're going to hear from Alicia Hoffman-Mirilovich, Luzerne County resident and Executive Director of Action Together NEPA.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alicia Hoffman-Mirilovich, and I have lived here in Luzerne County for the last 20 years. And I'm the Executive Director of Action Together NEPA, and I have the privilege to say thank you. Thank you to the incredible people here today. A huge thanks to Megan Coker and Rural Organizing for leading this rally. Let's give her some thanks. A special thanks to our speakers, Nina, Anthony, Yesenia, and Pastor Rodney. Their words, their stories are powerful. All of our stories are powerful. And these will stay with us beyond today's rally. So thank you for sharing them. Thank you to DJ Robert for getting the music going and getting our crowd pumped up. Thank you to the Action Together staff for making things happen and getting shit done. Thank you for our dedicated volunteers and everyone who is here and helping us have a great experience today and keeping us safe. And thank you to the Wilkes-Barre Police Department for being here today and making sure that we are safe as well. But most of all, I want to thank all of you for showing up today on this cold but actually sunny day, much different than some of our most recent rallies. Rallies like this are happening all over our region, over our Commonwealth, and our country today, and you are part of that. Thank you for being part of this today. This event is just a glimpse of the collective power we have as we the people. We are the ones who have the power that we can turn into local action. Action Together has been helping our members work to do this for a decade. We actually celebrate our 10th birthday in November. So how can you be a part of turning our collective power into local action? One way is to join Action Together and become a member today. We are in the midst of our 2026 membership drive, Rage and Engage. So let's take our anger and motivation and convert it into building power as a community. There are lots of Action Together organizers here throughout the crowd and at our tables. So if you haven't already signed up, find someone and make sure you do. Joining Action Together helps us, and it will help you. It helps you to be able to plug in at every level of government to be a change maker. We make sure to engage our local officials, our state officials, and our federal representatives. We're at Rob Bresnahan's office every Monday. And for those of you who might be in Dan Muser's district, we're at one of his offices every Friday. So let's keep building on this momentum together. Let's do it together. Thank you. And I'm going to hand it back to our DJ so we can have a little bit more fun while we're here together.
Really quick, we don't have any kings in America, but we do have a disco queen, Denise Parashak, who's going to lead us in a couple of chants while our DJ gets ready. Thank you, Megan. Okay, so what do we do when our basic rights are under attack? We speak up and we fight back. Speak up and 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 fight back. What do we do when our health care is under attack? We speak up and we fight back. What do we do when our education is under attack? We speak up and we fight back. What do we do when our immigrants are under attack? We speak up and we fight back. What do we do when our democracy is under attack? We speak up and we fight back. No kings, no tyrants, we will not be silent. No kings, no tyrants, we will not be silent. No kings, no tyrants, we will not be silent. No kings, no tyrants, we will not be silent. No kings, no tyrants, we will not be silent. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Donald Trump has got to go. No kings, no tyrants, we will not be silent. No kings, no tyrants, we will not be silent. No kings, no tyrants, we will not be silent. No kings, no tyrants, we will not be silent. No kings, no tyrants, we
We will not be silent. It's love, not hate. That's what makes America great. 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 No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. I'm going to say, what do we want? And you're going to say, justice. What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! Impeach, remove, convict. Impeach, remove, convict. Impeach, remove, convict. Impeach, remove, convict. 1, 2, 3, 4. We won't take it anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4. We won't take it anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4. We won't take it anymore. And now I'm going to turn this over to our DJ for a little while for some great music. Thank you. We'll be back.
We want the most incredible countries on earth. The United States of America. And you know, it's my home.
The land where dreams can come true.
It was founded on God.